we have a bigger agenda. Because it's no point if we just secure Selangor. It is no point if we only do well in Penang when the rest of the country is suffering. When the rest of the people in Sabah, in Sarawak, just in Kuala Lumpur, for example, they are still suffering. They're suffering from what? Lack of job opportunities. Lack of, just now I told my staff, no increase in salary. It's true. It's very hard to increase salaries now. Don't worry, Adrian. I will think of something. I'll get a second job. You know, the kids, the education system. What is happening with our education system? So much so people are sending their children to international schools. They rather spend the money. And if they just cannot take it anymore, they will leave this country. I'm sure many of you here, you have friends, you have family members, you have relatives who have migrated or who are thinking of migrating. And we need to put a stop to this. Malaysia is our home. We are born here, we grew up here, and we want to live the rest of our lives in the most wonderful way in Malaysia. Am I right? Yes. This is our dream. 这个就是我们的梦想. We want Malaysia to be a fair country. We want Malaysia to be a just country. We want Malaysia not to be laughed at when we go overseas. When I meet my friends, they are ministers in Indonesia, in Nepal, in East Timor, Japan. You know what they tell me? Your Prime Minister still around. I said, yeah, still. Why don't you demonstrate? You did many demonstrations already. I said, yeah. If in Indonesia, tell you, don't worry, 1 million people sit outside for many days until this fella resign. I mean, these are people whom we look at one time. I remember Indonesia's economy was not good enough. People were running away from Indonesia. When I was a student, I used to put a lot of Indonesian activists, my friends, now they're all ministers and MPs, all my friends, we used to hide them, give them asylum, both in Kuala Lumpur as well as when I was living abroad. But now they've gone so far ahead compared to us. Don't have to look at Indonesia. Look at China. We used to look down at them, unfortunately, but we did. 30, 40 years ago, we used to look down at them. When we go and see, we always say, oh, we go back to the village, we bring what? Television. Correct? We bring radio. See our relatives in China. Now they sell us their TV, their radio, and give us this massive loan to build a railway. Can you see the big difference? So, friends, this is the time. 这就是我们的时间了。如果我们不打倒国政，我们的国家就没有希望。我们打倒国政不是因为我们恨他们，但是因为我们要救马来西亚。We have to save our country. We don't want to be taxed all the time. GST. You take our income tax at end of this month, everybody. Faster. I also have to faster do income tax. But every day they will tax us. They tax the poor. They tax the rich. They tax the people in the middle income group. They don't care. Because there's just not enough money. We have to make sure that our future that we leave for our young generation, our children, our grandchildren, is a bright future. Not a future that is ladled with debt, with conspiracy, with scandals. So tonight, as Tony said, please vote, but also please make sure that your friends, especially those who are living or working, who are voting in other states, make sure that they vote. Because if we win big in Damansara, in Petaling, Jaya, in Gombak, but if we lose the rest of the country, then we are back to square one. We have seen this momentum brought by an unusual coalition. And this is because everyone knows that These are desperate times. So I ask you, 如果你们不要生活辛苦啊，你们的生活辛苦要做什么？509要做什么？509要做什么？That's what you have to do. 509, 9th of May. I'm very sure. Tonight, there's so many of you. Let me tell you this. Wangsa Maju. I just saw photos. Not very far from here. Malay majority area in Kuala Lumpur. 人山人海. Tens of thousands of people came out for our Pakatan Harapan Ceramah tonight. This is just one, and I'm sure you have seen the ones that we've had in Negeri Sembilan, in other states. This is just the beginning. We have not even started campaigning technically, but we saw, hey, how come KL can do campaigning, we faster do. We also do here, sikit. So, on the 9th of May, I know you will do the right thing. On the 10th of May, what will happen? 10th of May, we have to go to work. In Jaya. Holiday will come later. But we have to immediately go to work. We cannot go on holiday. Cannot. Take over government very hard one. It take a few weeks. Stabilize everything. So 9th of May, make sure that you're voting for the future. 509， 509，我们一定会赢。509，我们一定会。509，我们一定会。Kita mesti. Kita mesti. Kita mesti. 谢谢大家，晚安，谢谢大家，谢谢你们的支持，谢谢。Thank you very much, everyone.